graph a right triangle with 2 points forming the hypotenuse. Using the sides, find the distance between the points to the nearest tenth. Anytime you see where it says to the nearest tenth, that's code that you're going to be using a calculator from beginning to end. So don't worry about simplifying the radical like we did in the last one. All right, so to start things off, 7 negative 2 is going to be 7 to the right, down 2. 1 negative 7 is from the origin, 1 to the right, down 7. Now we're just going to go ahead and add the legs to this. Again, remember the legs always make the right angle. So let's see if we count this. Going to the right, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that side is 6. This one going up from the right angle, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 2 legs, we have a 6 and we have a 5. Let's go over to our sheet to show the work for the rest of it. So number 1, let's draw the triangle. Again, something that just simply represents what's going on. And as they told us in the problem already, they said that diagonal over here is C. So that's kind of nice. They gave that to you. I'm going to call this one A, and I'm going to call this one B. Please remember that that is a right angle. And the length of B, we said that that was 5. And the length of A was 6. And let's see, I'm going to color code this just to kind of make sure we understand that these are the legs here, right here. The legs make the right angle. So I've got B is 5 and A is 6, although my B looks a little bit sloppy here. Let's see if I can add a little tail to that to make sure that that's a B here. Definitely a B. Okay, cool. And then the side that is across from the right angle, that's your C. And as we've said many times, the C side or the hypotenuse will always be the longest. So we'll write out the Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Let's see, a and b are going to be 6 and 5, or 5 and 6, however you want to do it. So I've got 6 squared plus 5 squared is equal to c squared. 6 squared is 36, and 25 comes from 5 times 5, and that's equal to c squared. 36 and 25, that's going to give us 61, is equal to c squared. To get rid of the square, we'll square root both sides. And we don't have to simplify this at all, because once it says to the nearest tenth, we're just going to plug that into the calculator. So let's get good old Delta Math calculator handy. So let's put our square root symbol and put in 61. And it says that that is 7.81. So I could write it like this to start, 7.81, and then remember, dot, dot, dot. That means it's going to go forever. So I'm going to give you a hint. This is 61 is not a perfect square, so it's irrational. It's going to have numbers that go on forever, and there's going to be a pattern that does not repeat. So that's why I wrote 7.81 dot, dot, dot. And I needed 2 decimal places, because in just a moment I'm going to have to round to the nearest tenth. All right, the square and the square root cancel. That's going to be a C right there. I'm going to grab my red marker. I have to round to this place right here, so I'm going to circle the 8, underline the 1. If it was a 5 or more, this would go up to a 9, but because it's 4 or less, it's going to just round down. So my final answer is 7.8, and then give yourself a squiggly because it's close to that. This is a rounded value. So 7.8 is approximately equal to C. So the last thing we need to do, other than box our final answer, is go ahead and plug it into here. And if we get a green X, we're good. And if we get a green check mark, we're good. And if it's a red X, we get an opportunity to find a mistake, which is okay. Making mistakes is part of the learning process. But this one we got right. So good job.